Now, see, I promised I'd be here, and I'm here. Welcome to the halftime show with a 10-10 game. Final 2 minutes of the second quarter are the Browns' season in a microcosm. A total lack of effort, a total lack of positive attitude, and a hopeless feeling that calling timeouts at the end, when you have them back on the goal line and you allow them to almost break a 98-yard touchdown run, then you choose to stop the clock. I can give you a bunch more if you'd like. Running the ball with Deontay Foreman up the middle, and there isn't an offensive lineman in the camera angle. This isn't just a matter of injuries. This is a team that is lost. It's lost its compass. The players are not trying. I think there's a lot to do with this predicated upon the miserable press that they get, confusion as to what offense they're running. I don't know what happened to Akins, but who in the hell are Swain and Whiteheart? Sounds like a bad cabaret act from a Ramada Inn. Even on the touchdown, why were they within 2 yards of one another running the same exact pattern? I don't understand. The only thing I can think of is that Stefanski has decided we're going back to the 3 tight end alignment, and that's the way it's going to be. In which case, they should let Ken Dorsey go. They should let him go anyway to a team that has wide receivers with speed. You can see Jerome Ford just stop running. Yet you're seeing a team in Las Vegas who is trying way harder. There's more effort being put out. The Browns aren't even trying to get to the quarterback. What's crazy about this is when the Browns try to run the ball, the Raiders' defensive line is 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage consistently. There's no way they're going to win any football games that way. So, and Martin Emerson's being pointed out as well. The second you say that number 11 is going to beat us, he'll beat you. You've admitted defeat. I don't understand what the hell's going on, except they're just going to play 10 yards off him and let him do what he wants to do because they're afraid to make a mistake. The whole team is playing like they're afraid of getting hurt, afraid of making a mistake, afraid of getting booed. And the DeJuan Jones whiff should be the final play he ever plays for the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson was absolutely right to get in his face. That lazy son of a bitch hasn't played football trying hard this season. He's slow, he's fat, and he's not motivated. And that too, Jim, we're not tackling well. They're getting an extra 2 or 3 yards every time. I would say this, that until the team decides what it wants to be and who it wants to have play for them and represent him, then, then I don't know. I don't know what else there is. So we're being beaten. We will lose the game. Statistically, we're being beaten. You can't blame the quarterback. He's completing a high percentage of passes, but there's nothing downfield and there's no time. And he has no running game to offset a passing game to buy himself some time. So, and I think so. They did nothing about this. I think this was an inevitability. The players would just end up getting hurt. And that's the way it went. So somebody was saying, I was talking, made a comment on Twitter about fans, that the Steelers love their team. Their fans do. The Bengals fans love their team. The Ravens fans love their team. But 50% of the Browns fans don't like their team. And the thing that's amazing is when you direct all of your vitriol and anger at players instead of where it belongs, which is with the ownership and management of the team, players are just going to look for a way to get out of town. And I think that's what we're seeing. People don't want to play. And I wouldn't want to play being booed all the time. I just wouldn't want to play. And the effort, there's one thing to be inexperienced, but it's another thing to just be standing around saying, Olay. Unfortunately, it's the only NFL franchise in Cleveland, so there's not much choice. Well, there is a choice. There's always a choice. The question is whether you're willing to make the choice or not. As for me, I'm no longer a Browns fan. I want to see them win, yes. But a fan? I can't be a fan of this. How can you support people who aren't trying, an organization who's buried itself, a team that can't even define what offensive scheme they're running, the offensive coordinators with the head coaches, and a team that knows that their players are going to get injured, the same players every year, and don't replace them? I want to see them win, but I'm not a fan. I can't agree with the way this thing is being run. And deep down, if you're down, well, it's the only thing we have. Well, no, there's a whole life out there on Sundays. Or you just take a little season off. It isn't that hard. As for the team, statistically, I can share statistics with you, but it's kind of pointless because we're getting beaten in every possible way. Deshaun Watson is 14 of 17. Can't blame him. He's thrown a touchdown pass. Minshew of 6 of 9 for 52 yards. You're saying, well, the defense is doing well. No, it's because they can run the football all they want. And they haven't been able to run the football all fucking year. 95 yards of offense on the ground. Unbelievable. Simply unbelievable. The team stats will say it all. It's like the Browns have possessed the ball for 16 minutes versus 13 or about 14, but the Raiders are controlling the whole game as far as the ground game. And the Browns have no running game whatsoever, 35 yards. And Deshaun has run for half of them. Deontay Foreman, 3 carries for 1 yard. Ford, 7 carries for 16 yards. There are no offensive linemen even in the picture when he's running the football. It's just, to me, absolutely unbelievable. Jerry Jeudy has 4 receptions. That's really all there is worth talking about. Trey Tucker, the one they're afraid of, 41 yards, 4 receptions, and nobody else has more than 1 reception. It's really unbelievable. No turnovers in the game because the defense isn't trying enough. It doesn't even look like the same defensive scheme. It looks like everybody is just in shock. They're just scared. And I agree with this. I think everything starts at the top. and goes down like the big shit ball rolling down a hill. That's what happens in business all the time. I don't think we can count on I was trying to click on a comment, but they're coming so fast. Greg Smith's comment, Chubb being back. The good news is, well, if they activate him, he'll be able to play within 3 weeks. The season's over. I don't want him to come back out in the field and hurt himself. Take the rest of the season off, get completely healthy, and go someplace where they want you and where you can have a chance of winning. Right now, there's just no offense, no defense, no will. And we're playing so many backups. I mean, how does Posich, how does he hurt himself on a point after? How does this shit keep happening? Myles Garrett's trying to play, but he can't because he's crippled. So, and that is what it amounts to, MS1, that it is like Kevin Stefanski's trying to prevent a mass calamity. So maybe he'll look better if it's slightly closer, but they're not going to win. They take no chances. They passed on the field goal because if they kick a 57-yard field goal and miss it, oh my God, they're going to go down the field and score, and they get the ball again, and then, oh, I'm going to look bad. I'm going to try to keep it close. That's what it looks like to me too. The guy kicked a 56-yard field goal the other way, and it was plenty long good. Didn't even give him a chance. Could have been up, but wouldn't take the chance because taking that chance meant that he would be responsible for a bad decision. And he'll still say it's all on me, or partly on me, and partly on the players, and partly on God, and partly on, whatever. But yeah, that's a good illustration right there of Prevensky. Well, the game is starting up again, and I'll be there to watch it, and I'll be here after the game on the post-game show. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope to see you after the game. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Enjoy the second half.